Hello, winners, and welcome to Two for the Win with your hosts, Nick and Will. It is that time of year. I know it seems a little crazy being here in the midst of May, springtime. Almost feels like summertime in Florida anyway, but we wanted to make sure that we kind of have this setback schedule for you. So, winners, we are going to talk about, believe it or not, holiday travel. Yeah, holiday travel. So stay tuned for that. But first, please be sure to subscribe, share, and follow Two for the Win on your favorite platform. Check us out on YouTube, especially if you want to see some cool graphics and pictures of things. Check that out. And also want to give a shout out to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you, Nick Menard.
You're very welcome. Hello, winners.
Hello, hello. So the holiday season
is here.
We're 6 to 7 months away, but you need to book today or else you're not going to get the space for your dream vacation. But anyway, shall we talk about it?
Thank God you have a job.
I think we just lost half our listener base.
Or not. Maybe we get like, hey, listen to those people. They're fun.
No, they'll be like, feel sorry for them. Please listen.
Well, yeah, so we're going to talk about end of year, mainly vacation. And the reason why is that now it's a very good timing to actually book and schedule your family vacation or your couple vacation end of year, starting with Thanksgiving, Christmas, and of course New Year. Why? Because if you wait too long, the availabilities will be limited, the price rise. So the best time to book it's now for the end of year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked in the past about the river cruising, Christmas markets, and the experience that is, the all-inclusive destinations. You want to get, if you're living up north and the weather's not so nice, you want to get away and really enjoy yourselves. And you mentioned about couples and families, which obviously that's a big segment of the market. But sometimes for the holidays, people who are single, it can be a little bit of a downer to be home by yourself. Why not treat yourself to a trip? Go to an all-inclusive, go to a river cruise, go do a number of different things.
And maybe meet the one.
You never know. Or two.
Lord.
Well, hey, but I mean, but in all seriousness, great time to book. And as we were talking about, hey, we should probably bring this up in the episode. You were talking about like Thanksgiving and touch about that.
Yes. So a lot of time people ask me about why is the best time to go on vacation for the best pricing. Well, it's hard to say because it depends really season to season, year over year. It changes as well. But something that it's usually the case is around Thanksgiving. It's American are not big traveler during Thanksgiving usually. Why? Because you want to be home with your family, like do a Friendsgiving and all that. And people like to be in the comfort of their house for the Thanksgiving season. Some people love to do Black Friday and things like that. So they want to be around. Now, if for places like islands or countries like Mexico, Dominican Republic, Bahamas, like the island I mentioned, this is a perfect time to go. Why? Because there are a lot of availabilities, because Americans are not big travelers during that time. So usually you can get better pricing as well. So I recommend, if you are willing to try something different for Thanksgiving and wanna go place, try an all-inclusive like Mexico or Dominican Republic. You will be surprised sometimes at the kind of pricing you can get. That can be a difference of 20, 25, 30% a week to another. So that's something that it's good to know.
And you could get, instead of having turkey, you could substitute turkey for tacos. I would do that. I would definitely do that.
So you can do whatever you want during those times. But it's true, if you live like definitely up north, because Florida is going to be pretty much the same temperature. But if you live in other places that are colder, that's fun to be experiencing different time, different kind of seasons during the season. So that's definitely something I recommend. If you are willing to do something bigger and want to go to Europe, well, it's gonna be a little bit colder, but you can definitely experience, like we mentioned before, Christmas markets. That's all months of December, pretty much. So that's a beautiful time of the year to
But
go.
is it Mediterranean decent at that time?
Absolutely, Mediterranean is the same style as Florida,
For
a little
people who
bit.
aren't familiar, that time of year,
Absolutely.
Mediterranean's still nice.
Yeah, you can do a cruise, so you can fly there and do a cruise, or you can do for people who are retired. Of course, you can do a transatlantic during that time because a lot of those
Oh,
ships like move from one region to the other during that time of the year. So you can experience, you can fly there and come back in a transatlantic, or go with a transatlantic and come back by plane. So you have like different options that you can do in those time of November, December. But yeah, that's why I brought up the Thanksgiving period, because it's usually a good time financially to travel for Americans.
yeah. No, it sounds wonderful. And I think, I know it's way ahead, but some people they really do save up to have a memorable vacation. And if you're thinking about doing something like that for the holidays, now is a great time, like you're saying, to get it in place, save yourself a little bit. That gives you more money to spend on other stuff instead of paying for a higher rate than what you would
Hmm.
otherwise be able to do. But I mean, where would you want to bring in the Christmas holiday if you're celebrating Christmas, or where would you want to bring in the New Year,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So
Absolutely. And then also when you have families with children, that's something I hear a lot from clients right now when they book for Christmas sailings, for example, or New Year's sailing. That's getting more and more popular. People who want to celebrate that on a ship. Well, I think I have a few groups already scheduled in for different cruise lines for end of year, where people go with bunch of family members from all around the US, flying to Florida, and then spend a week for New Year in the Caribbean. So there is worse things to do, and then that's a gift for the kids. So the kids' gift is to be able to give to be away, to go away. So whatever budget you have for gift and stuff like that, well, you just put all together and you do a vacation instead. So that
yeah,
may be something also good, something to think about. And definitely, like doing a cruise during that time of the year, the ships are decorated. The atmosphere is different. You have the Christmas music on the ship, like it's a real atmosphere. Like you feel like you are in a movie, but it's reality.
yeah.
So
One
that,
time I was on one, they had the big ice sculpture where they
Mhm,
like
yeah.
carved that, which is really cool. And the artists, I mean, the way they do that stuff, that's talent,
Yeah, then you have
underneath
the
it.
big tree, of course, for Christmas season, and then the food. The food change as well. So you have more the Christmas kind of food. And New Year Eve, of course, it's special. So you will have something different than what you used to on a ship, on a cruise. So that's very, very very different, and good to see the lights, the events also during that season are different. So the kind of experience you have on a ship are totally different.
Yeah, it made me. You painted two pictures in my mind. One's kind of funny, and the other one's a little more serious. You remember during the time of year, and they have those Corona commercials, and you see the palm trees and with the Christmas lights on it. That that's cool.
There you go.
That's a cool one. But on the flip side, if you've ever wanted to visit someplace in the southern hemisphere, maybe you want to go to Australia or you want to go to New Zealand. Well, they're heading into their summer
Hmm.
when
Very
we're
true.
heading into the winter in the western part of the world. So you could hit the Gold Coast. You want to learn to surf. You want to dodge great whites. You want to box a kangaroo. No, but all seriousness, like so much you can see in Australia and then obviously New Zealand as well. And the weather's going to be nice.
Yeah, Asia. Again, what I talk about is something that's more close by
Yeah.
for us to go. In general, you go to, you want to go to the warm, to the heat or warmer weather usually. So that's why you go to Florida, and then you go to Caribbean and Bahamas, things like that.
Mhm.
But of course, like you mentioned, there are always options to go to other places that will be very different season than we have currently. So
Mhm.
Japan comes to mind. People like to travel to Japan in different time of the year because all time of the year are great there. They're very different,
Mhm.
but the season are beautiful. And so I mentioned Japan, I think, a few weeks back, but Japan is definitely a huge request from American right now. So
Yeah.
a lot of people who want to experience Japan. And the feedback I get from everybody coming back from Japan is like, I need to go back because it was so
Yeah.
fantastic. So that's a great experience. And then when you're there, you can experience all the stuff around in Asia. So
Yeah.
definitely something to think about.
Japan's definitely on my bucket list. That's one I'd love to see. Okinawa, all those places. Maybe do a swan kick like Karate Kid. But the other thing is, I think one of the reasons why Japan is popular now too, the dollar's strong
Yeah.
compared to the yen. So for some of our winners who may not always pay attention to things like that, like pay attention where the dollar is stronger to other places because you get more for your money.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a guide, like you're deciding between a few different places, you're not quite sure which one. Hey, if you got one where the dollar's going to go for more, why not take advantage of it?
I love that. I remember that makes me think when I was living in Europe, I was in my 18 years old, 20 years old, and I start flying by myself to the US. It was phenomenal. At that time, the dollar was half the price of euro. And so
Yeah.
euro was strong,
Mm-hmm.
which was amazing because you'd fly to US, which is already like Florida is a lot cheaper than Europe,
Mm-hmm.
plus half the price because of the difference of the value of the euro compared to dollar. So it was paradise to travel to the US. I felt like that's it. That's all I'm paying for this. And
Yeah.
yeah, like you feel like you are the king of the world when you
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
No, it's not the case anymore. It's pretty much the same, and the value increased drastically both ways. So
Yeah.
that's a bit different. But that's a good point. Like always look at things like that, and that's where travel agent can help you, guide you. That's why, again, I will repeat that every single time. Always make sure to know your budget. How
Mm-hmm.
much are you willing to spend for your vacation? Once we know as a travel agent what is your budget and you are flexible. For example, you have no idea what you want to do, or you have like one idea. I want somewhere warm,
Mm-hmm.
or I want to be able to visit something culturally or architecture or good food or whatever it is that is. But if you don't have an idea where to go, but you have a clear budget, go to us,
Mm-hmm.
ask us like, hey, here's my budget, family of 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what can you suggest? And that's actually the what I prefer to do as a travel agent because it gives you creativity to actually try to figure it out what would be the best option for your client for the price instead of having someone calling, I want this at this date, this room style, this thing. Because yeah, we do it, but it's just a check the box thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose the creativity piece. But when you have someone with a clear budget but no idea what to do, then I can come back and say, hey, the best we can do for this price is this destination, and maybe it's something you never thought of,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to be the best experience and something memorable.
Yeah, I totally agree. Great point. And I think words to live by. And the other thing, just to reiterate, I know we said this a lot when we first kicked off the podcast. We haven't said as much recently, but when you use it, and I actually had a conversation about this with somebody just the other day who were under the assumption that the travel agents charged a fee in order to use their services. And you've said this multiple times. Very rarely, like if it's a big event, like a destination wedding or stuff, yeah, because there's a lot of planning, but like 95% or more of the time, there is no fee whatsoever. You're paying the same price you would find online or better by using the agent. So why not? Don't be worried. You're not going to get like some hidden fee charge and have some more expense on your vacation what it would have been otherwise. But you could leverage somebody's expertise and connections and insight to really foster a dream vacation.
Exactly. No, and it's true. And it's good to repeat it because I still, education piece is huge in
Mhm.
the travel business. And it's definitely something I keep hearing. Why should I use a travel agent when I can do it online? Well, good luck to do online when you have to build a trip or you have a lot of time to waste.
Yeah.
If you want to build a full
Yeah. It
itinerary,
takes a long
different
time.
countries or like transportation, transfers, activities, museum, tickets for XYZ and hotels and all the train transfer. I mean, anything you can imagine, we're doing, and we know the vendors, so
Hmm.
we know where to contact the right people for the request from the client.
Hmm.
So you need to look at Google. It's like I have a lump in my back. Let's Google it, and then you will have probably cancer. which is usually not the case, but
Yeah,
that's what
no.
Google will say. Well,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Use someone who do that for a living instead of trying to do everything yourself, and it's not gonna help you financially neither.
No.
So, like you mentioned, you know, I cannot talk for other agencies. Some agency charge fees, and I respect it. That works for them. I understand sometimes why when it's from for like building trip in different countries and stuff because it takes hours to put something together, and so you need to be paid for your work.
Mhm.
But it's literally depending on the travel the agency
Mhm.
literally. So in our agency we take pride of not charging a fee for now, and when I say for now it's because we do more and more specific itineraries, and then when we do like more than 2 3 countries at a time, maybe in the future we're gonna have to charge because it takes like 5 6 7 hours to get something together, and we cannot continue to do that every single day with the unknown. But we have a very good ratio or closing deals, so it's fine. But it takes time.
Yeah.
So and now the teams is growing. We have a lot of travel agent now in our team, and there's a lot of training involved and things like that. But yeah, we don't charge any additional fee. So the fee you're gonna pay are the fee you're paying if you go online directly.
Yeah.
So and they are hidden because you don't know. You feel like, oh my god, I have a deal because I don't use anyone. Well, you pay a travel agent fee. You just don't get the service.
No, and the company gets the added profit, the
Yeah,
vendor.
that they
Yeah.
use for marketing, and
Yeah.
that's their marketing resources for cruise line, hotels, like any vendors in travel. Their marketing, um, like package or the
Mhm.
marketing like
Budget.
payroll or
Yeah.
budget are from travels book with no travel agent
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's
Unpaid
literally they don't
commissions.
pay to pay commissions.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about when you are thinking about trip. But to get back
The holiday
to the holiday
season.
seasons. Again, I still hear people say, oh, it's too early to think about it. Don't forget, back 20 years ago, I agree. That was last minute, were tons of amazing deals. Now it's very far in between that you can maybe have some deals last minute, but it's rare. I maybe saw a couple good one in 3 years
Mhm.
since I own my agency. It's not happening. Why? Because the travel business is busy.
Yeah.
Like that's why I mentioned
Well,
the
it's supply and demand.
the
Yeah.
demand is way too high. The supply is not enough in travel industry, definitely in the cruising industry. That's why you
Mhm.
have new ship coming out every month now because they're building ships non-stop because there's too much demand and they cannot. Those ships are filled 95% all the time. So
Mhm.
so they need more. And of course, why would they give them better price last minute when the ships are pretty much full?
Right.
So they much rather give something to their employees or travel agent who sell, they can experience some ship they never experienced before. I'm not saying free, but some things like that, like advantages instead
Right.
of having last minute. Don't forget, last minute you don't get to choose where you are in a ship, so you will
Yeah.
get
Good
in a
point.
place like I hear people like don't realize like it's the place you are on the ship matter. Like when you don't know where you are and you just book and you see like guaranteed balcony, never use that because guaranteed balcony means don't worry about it. It's gonna be a balcony, but you don't know where. And
Mhm.
then they're gonna put you, like under the pool, which means it's gonna always be noisy. Or they're gonna put you in front of a sailboat, like a life saving boat. So it means that you will not sailboat, like a life saving boat.
Mhm.
So literally, you have the view. It's a boat in front of your balcony, so you don't see nothing, and you
Mhm.
pay for a balcony. So think about that. You will be next to um, um, a place where they go in and out all night. To the storage units.
Mhm.
But you don't know all of that if you don't have a travel agent. So always make sure. And last minute, that's all that's left,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So
100%.
always pay attention in those details. Same for resort. Don't forget when you ask for a resort for example, in Cancun, you want to go to a specific resort. Well, you have some rooms, they're all the same, but you have
Mhm.
some rooms who are next to the pool. So that's gonna be a lot more noisy. Early morning, people yelling, screaming, music going on, you know?
I would like to cannonball off the balcony.
Exactly. You can do that. But if you like it, some people want to be next to the pool
Yeah.
because they don't want to walk too much and they don't care about the noise. So be it. We
Yeah,
can help
yeah.
you get there. But a lot of people said, "Hey, I want somewhere quiet in my all-inclusive resort." Well, you better take yourself, schedule that in advance and not a month from now, because that's gonna be they put you where there is room.
Yeah.
So a lot of things to think about. Flying. The closer you get, the more expensive the flights.
Oh,
Uh,
right now flights aren't bad with the oil prices. They're coming down.
Yeah, I
And
don't know.
some.
You keep saying that, but I don't see that in the
You
pricing.
haven't seen it?
No,
Yeah.
the pricing, the pricing for flight are just insane. Like I just look for, again, today for Italy and for Greece. That's like in the 2,000 per person round
Was it
trip.
really?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at economy, nothing fancy, but from Miami to London, and it was like 700 round
Yeah,
trip.
London. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
short one.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. Fair.
when
Yeah,
you go to Greece, it's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And but anyway, so it
Mhm.
depends a little bit what you want to do, but I would highly recommend to take your, to schedule in advance. And also it allows you to pay in installments.
Oh,
Like when
yeah.
people said, "Oh, my
Good
budget
point.
is that." Well, maybe you can do a little bit more, and if you schedule in advance, because you're able to do an installment plan, and which is free with us, our agency. We are doing complimentary, so it means that as long as you pay it in full by the due date, you can pay multi-time during the time you start, the time of the due date payment. So detail like that do not underestimate.
No, that's a great point. You touched on a lot of great points there, and I also so I'll just shift because there's nothing really to add. You covered it really well, but I would say like, hey, if you live in Florida and it's warm all the time, you want to go skiing, you want to go ice
Mhm.
skating. There's destinations that you want to be on the Swiss Alps. You want to check that out. You
Mm.
want to do some other stuff. I mean, you have the opportunity to do that. If you're up north and you're hearing this, yeah, you're probably thinking, how do I get to Cancun? How do I get to uh, DR, all that stuff, and get to warm weather? But yeah, it's just really fascinating. I know we talked about this on an episode a long time ago, but just in case somebody didn't hear about it, like the Christmas markets in Europe, like you hear about them and it sounds cool, but it's way cooler in person. Like
Yeah.
when I was in Munich and saw the Christmas markets, and they got all these little shops that are basically like little huts, and they're decorated, like amazingly decorated, in the different food and the mulled wine and all that stuff. And it's an experience, and that's what travel's all supposed to be about. It's about experience. So no judgment, but I mean, you can use people can use their money however they want. But you want to buy it to buy stuff, sure, buy stuff, have stuff, knock yourself out. But if you're looking for memories and you want experience, that's where you can invest it in those memories. Like the amount of traveling that we've done between you and I, and then with my family, and then my solo stuff that I do. I mean, I wouldn't trade that stuff for
Mhm.
anything. And here you are with a chance. If you're thinking about the holiday season, whether it's with a special someone or someone's, or again, you're thinking solo, take advantage of it now and have that memorable moment. Because when you see the backdrop of a Gothic castle and you see all the Christmas houses set up and the cheer and the snow and people actually caroling and stuff, like, I mean, it's cool. It brings you to a place where all is right in that moment.
Well, Will is definitely he became my PR right now. No, but you're totally right. And that's something I always tell my clients. Like I can sell vacation or I can sell experience, and the experience piece is what's fun, because when you have client coming back and then you see them or they call you and they are like all about, "Oh my God, that was fantastic." That's rewarding for multi reasons. In all honesty, it's rewarding because I love to see people happy about something that I help accomplish,
Mm-hmm.
but also they're client for life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as business, you want that. So you want to make sure to give them an experience they will not forget. They will not forget about you neither, because you help them get there.
Yeah.
So I love something that it's a little bit out of the box, um, while staying in line of what they want to experience, but something that they will never forget. And
Yeah.
like you said, I would not change any of my travel neither, because nobody can take that away. I
Yeah.
get it. And
Oh, yeah.
that's why when I talk to people and say, "Oh, you're lucky." No, the first of all, it's not luck. And secondly, when they said, "Oh, it's good, but it's too much. I can do one vacation a year." Well, until you do two, and then
Yeah.
you will want to do three, and then you want to do more. And if you can do it because of your effort, your hard work, just do it, because that's something they cannot take away. You can
Mhm.
always have a bigger house, a bigger car, or more cars, but is it really going to change something to your life or experience? I'm not sure. Again, I don't judge like you.
Yeah.
People do what they want with their money.
That's right.
But when you travel, it opens your mind to so many different things that you may not have known before. So I highly recommend you guys to try. If you never travel during Christmas time, I mean, it's cheaper, yeah, during Thanksgiving season, but that's different. But Christmas, New Year time, that's an experience in itself. So
Yeah.
if you never did it, do it, and you will probably want to do it again.
Yeah. And why are we talking about Christmas in May? Because the stuff books up quick.
Mhm.
It's already booked up probably
Oh,
60,
Christmas,
70,
the Christmas
80%.
market is
Right.
pretty much 90% booked up already.
Yeah.
So if you want a Christmas market cruise, you're probably going to have to we're going to look for 2026 December, because
Unless
this
you call
year,
today, and then
yeah.
you might be able to get one of those 10% left.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is specific, because again,
Yeah.
Christmas market is 1 month a year. It's
Right.
3.5 weeks a year. So of course you don't have as many opportunities. It's like to a crazier scale, but it's like Alaska.
Mhm.
Alaska, you have 5 months, 4.5 months a year. It's really the best experience for Alaska. The rest that over there is 3.5 weeks. So you can imagine things are just booked up very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. So act today. Give Nick Menard and Associates a call today to book your dream vacation and have an amazing experience over the holiday season. And yes, the holiday season.
He's
That's
here.
it. I know. I know. And I didn't even drink today. Well, that's great.
Better.
I know. I know. No mulled wine today.
No. None of it.
Any other last tips you want to share with our winners before we close out?
No, I think we covered a lot, and I believe that anyone who would take action will not regret it. Or if you took action, share that with us, and we'll be more than happy to share your experience as well.
Yeah, you have some pictures from maybe a holiday trip of past. You want to send them to them? We'll post it. You see it on YouTube. Happy to do that sort of stuff, because it is about the memorable moments and the experiences. So this has been, hopefully you deem winners a memorable moment and experience the last 30 minutes, but we must bid you adieu, and it's time to wrap up this episode of Wanderlust Wednesday. Thank you as always for listening. Please be sure you subscribe, share, and follow 2 for the Win on your favorite platform, including YouTube. Spread the word if you would as well. We would greatly appreciate that. And thanks again to Nick Menard and Associates with Dream Vacations for sponsoring today's episode. That'll do it. Our Wanderlust winners. We will see you next week. Take
Bye,
care.
winners. Bye-bye.